Cranked Up Live.
All right, guys, we are live right now with you right here on Facebook, and it's Brad, and
Who?
yeah, you're here, you're with me. So we wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what's going on with the whole Cranked Up brand, right? Because we're changing some stuff again, Brad.
Trademarked.
It is trademarked. We
It
did
is. Son of a.
there's a lot of people that have Cranked Up, right? They use Cranked Up, but Brad and I actually own the trademark. So, like if Brad ever gets a wild hair and wants to sue anybody, we own that. So yeah, you can go check that out.
And that's still a funny, quick story. If we can share that real quick. When we did the metal shop, we had the metal shop, and Curtis had been doing it for several years. I got on there. We started blowing up, because I was involved. So what happened then is the guy, there's a guy apparently had the metal shop show in the 80s or something. He renewed his trademark and then tried to sue us to either get royalties or to make us buy the trademark. And so Curtis immediately calls me. He's like, "What should we do about this?" And I'm like, "Well, change the name." He's like, "Well, so just tell this guy change the name." I'm like, "Well, hell no, don't tell him that we're changing the name." We played that guy with attorneys and accountants for 2 months.
I remember.
2 months.
I do. I remember that. I remember like I remember we had a lawyer on retainer at the time, and we were like, dude, send his attorney something every day. Every day.
Every day.
Just like clockwork, just every day. And so yeah, it was funny. So we drowned the guy in legal paperwork. And then
he hired a corporate appraisal consultant to give us a price.
It was so bad. Yeah. So we drag it out. In the meantime, like Brad said, we changed the name, we trademarked it, we redid all of our logos and all of our stuff. And then the last day when we'd already said, well, give us a figure, and the dude's attorney finally does, or he calls to do it, right? He calls to do it, and then our attorney was like, we've already changed the name.
We changed the name 2 months ago. They're like within 24 hours of you calling.
Yeah, it was funny. It was really funny. So that was kind of how we started, and it was Cranked Up Live, and we trademarked it, and then we went on the rock show, right? And we did the rock show for a long time, and we had a lot of success with that. And it was 107.1 The Nerve, our home station, was cool. We did a lot of fun stuff there, and how long, Brad? I mean, it was a lot of years. We did the rock stuff,
like 10 years.
Yeah, and so then we decided that our contract expired, and we weren't really signed with anybody anymore. So we decided it was time to go and do country and change formats. And so we did that. And we've been doing country now with Cranked Up Country for, 3 years now, I guess, almost 3 years. Yeah.
And I tell you what, immediately, the moment we started and any of the new country artists that we played, they were ecstatic. They blew everything up on social media. They were super excited. That was one of the things I really liked about country, because on rock, you could send them messages. You could go to their door, knock on their door, and be like, "Hey, dude, we're going to play your song on the radio." And they're like, "Get off my front porch."
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Some of the rock guys didn't even give us time of day, right?
Never.
Yeah.
It was rare.
It really was. So
Although
now
we did have David Draymond on the show. I still think that was cool.
It was so funny one time, and we're taking a long way here, but one time we did a show, and we were just starting out, and like nobody would talk to us. We couldn't get any interviews with anything, and Brad started the show, and he was like, "On the show this week, you won't be hearing from David Draymond," and he named off like 4 or 5 people, and all of those people ended up coming on the show and interviewing with us at some point, and that was pretty cool. I mean,
we even got cool. David Ellefson in trouble with Megadeth.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that went viral. Yeah, that went viral. That really put Cranked Up Live over the top back in the day. It really put it over the top with that particular interview, because I was interviewing the guy, and I was like, so So what do you think about Dave Mustaine saying this about, and Ellison was like, oh, screw that. And he goes off on a whole tirade. And then it was, it was just a good deal. It was a good
But
interview.
the David Draymond thing, folks, this is real quick. The David Draymond thing was trippy because it was like we were supposed to be on the call at Tuesday at 2:00. And like 5 minutes before 2:00, we get the phone call and it's somebody else. And they're like, okay, David Draymond is going to be 2 minutes late. And we're like, two? It's cool.
Yeah,
We'll wait till tomorrow if you'd like. They're like, no, he's 2 minutes. Okay, just stand by. And like we get put on hold, and then it's like 2:01:50, and they're like, he'll be on. He's almost off that call. He'll be on in 7 seconds. And we're like, 7 seconds. He came on the line and he cruised through it. And I swear it didn't seem like we tried to cut him off, but I think it was like a 5-minute interview on the dot.
Oh yeah,
Like he was perfect.
And dude, and his dogs, remember his dogs were in the background. He was walking around his house. You could hear him in his garage. It was something.
So professional.
It was, yeah, he was
amazing.
Yeah, he really was. And
so what are we talking about here, Curtis? What are we doing?
All right. Well, so now we've reached a point too where we're not under contract anymore with anybody with our distribution and all of that stuff with Cranked Up Country. And so now we've got some stuff on the table for us, and we can't actually say who it's with yet, but they're getting all the contracts done and everything. But what we're leaving radio, and we're not gonna do FM radio anymore, or any of it, and we're going to this format, and and it's going to be this is kind of, Brad and I have just been kind of messing around a little bit tonight with it, and we thought it would be cool to come up and talk to you guys about it and stuff. But so that's it. We're gonna leave radio. We're gonna go into this video stuff now, and it's we've got a killer company behind us. Once this deal's all done, and it will be. It's just a matter of time. So, it's just a new endeavor, Brad.
Yeah, and we've talked about trying to do both for a while, but we want to be able to show you guys stuff too. So we thought the video is just going to work out better. Oh, it's working out better for everybody anyway, because radio is having a tough time. And even if you're in your car, a lot of people don't listen to radio anymore. They'll listen to Sirius or something else. It's not necessarily terrestrial radio.
That's true. And everybody's going to the podcast stuff, and and we had to take a look at the Joe Rogan Experience, and people had talked to us about doing podcasts in the past, and we have a podcast. Let's say we have a podcast, but what they do is they strip our talking parts out of our radio show and they turn it into a podcast for us, and they put it out. It's really not like what we're going to do now, where we're going to have guests and it's going to open everything up so much more for us as far as this goes, and you'll be able to see them, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Curtis is going to be able to host things. Like he'll be able to share things on the screen. Like you thought that the rioting and all that stuff is the reason that the coronavirus disappeared. It's not. Curtis, can you show them what I did to solve the problem for the world?
Yeah, right here you go.
Right there.
Right there.
It was that simple, folks. Just put up a coronavirus free zone sign and it just goes away because it's not allowed. It's not allowed to be there.
It's not allowed. Yeah. So, we're going to be able to do a lot of things, a lot of new stuff. We've got to get used to a lot of it, but it's going to be a good time. And we're really, really excited about it. We really are. And so, and our hands aren't tied anymore, because Brad, when you're on radio and you've got the FCC like watching everything you do, and especially if you have a popular radio show and they start checking you out, we've actually been fined before in the past. We've been fired off several radio stations for stuff Brad said. So
it could be.
We would come on. At one point we were on like 103 stations or something, and we would get up and our agent would call and say, 3 stations fired you over the weekend. but then they would realize that they needed to bring us back because their ratings tanked. So it was all, it was like that.
In
I'm
some
excited.
cases. In some cases.
Yeah, some of them never talked to us again, and I'll never forget one of them that told us a lot of the stuff that we were doing wrong, and we made those changes. That was
We
like,
actually did, but then there's some others where they're like, well, yeah, we don't. Well, we got fired. For me, I literally read out of Obama's book with a British accent. We got
yeah,
fired for that because they were Obama lovers. I'm like, but I was just reading out of his book. That's all I did.
yeah, it was something. So
Hey, thinking of Obama. Hey, can we look in on what Joe Biden is doing right now? Is there any way to take a look at what he's doing?
absolutely. Let's
Oh,
see.
hey, look at there. Oh, there he is. Oh no, that's not how you do that's not how you do that, Mr. Biden. Okay.
So we've got we're figuring probably 3 or 4 weeks. We're gonna take a few weeks off, right, Brad? We're gonna take a few weeks off and get used to the whole new thing and everything that we're
Maybe.
doing.
Maybe we could be totally up and running by 3 p.m. tomorrow. We don't know.
I doubt it. I want some time off. I really do. I want to take a little bit of time off, and especially one of the things, while we're here, let's talk about what's going on in the country right now, Brad, because it's
Oh boy.
there's I mean, this stuff is bad, and so we're watching it every night. I don't even know what's going on right now because we've been in the studio dealing with this stuff, but everybody needs to chill, really, don't you think?
I it's hard to even put into words with what's going on. I can't comprehend why it's being allowed to happen. Like I get people are saying, "Oh, they're fed up. They're fed up," but what happens when the people that you're attacking and looting their businesses and killing the cops? What if those people get fed up? Do they get to kill you back? And then it's okay. It's okay because they were fed up. They'd had enough. That's the excuse I'm hearing.
And one of the things that I noticed was, you would see these I watched one little punk ass go on, and he walked right up to a cop, and they were holding the line, they were lined up, and he was a white kid with his white girlfriend, and they walked right up to this female cop, I mean nose to nose,
Yeah,
and
got
he
right in the
was
face.
and he was just cussing at her and talking all kinds of crap, and she took her baton and she like jabbed him in the stomach, not
Just
hard,
pushed him back. Just
just
pushed.
pushed him back a little bit. You would have thought that she bashed him over the head. I mean, he flailed around, he kept showing his stomach, and it's like they want to act fools. But if anything, like the FedEx driver, I mean, any little thing happens, you get drug a few blocks under the back tire,
That's it.
and they're all mad about it. Everybody gets mad. What were you doing under the back tire anyway?
It was free delivery from Prime.
Next day. Yeah, that guy died, by the way. We're not laughing about his death, but no, I mean, there's just I don't understand why they get so angry when something happens to them, right? I mean, they're like they're causing the issues. They're
Delivery.
throwing frozen water bottles and bricks and all this and that, but the minute you run over one of them with a semi truck, it's they're mad. They're just mad. I don't know.
Delivery. You're that land shark, aren't you? Merely a porpoise, ma'am. Hey, show this other one because I like this where they're trying to say that all the rioting is from the far right extremists.
Is this it right here?
Yeah, yeah. Why is Hollywood paying their bail? What?
Dude,
Hmm.
you know what? That's something that I want to talk about real quick too, because this 77-year-old retired police officer that was killed, and we all watched. I even put it on my Facebook page where he was killed, and they showed him on Facebook Live dying, and you could see the guy looking at him, and it was horrible. One of the worst things I've ever watched. This guy has a GoFundMe page, right? And it's generated about $20,000, $25,000 ish,
Mhm.
right in that area.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at it. Because his family is just devastated, and the guy was protecting a store, and he was black. I mean, it just goes on, and a veteran, retired, good guy. Everybody says he's a great dude. the fund to bail out these protesters that's going on right now. Last time I looked, because all these celebrities are donating to it, and they're raising money to post bail for these protesters and rioters and whatnot. They don't know who it is. They don't
Right.
know who they're bailing out. It's just a general fund that's going to bail. $22 million is in this thing right now. $22 million.
To bail people out of jail for rioting and looting. And the last I read is 8 of those people that donated are directly on Biden's campaign team.
Absolutely. So, we're not going to get into a lot of this. I mean, I hope that it stops. I really do. I want it to stop. This video that we're doing tonight wasn't about all this. We just wanted to thank everybody for all of the support we've had over the years with Cranked Up Live, Cranked Up Country. Now we're doing the Cranked Up podcast, and we're really excited about it. And we're hoping that we can go into a whole new era of what we've built over the years, right? And
we will add humor though, because here, let's show this one. Let's show this one from Nancy Pelosi.
okay,
Here she is.
you,
And we'll relate this back to one of our Cranked Up Country shows, because they like to change the words to make it sound like nothing really happened, Curtis.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Because in San Francisco, they did this about a year ago, where in San Francisco, they said that convicted felons will no longer be called convicted felons. Do you know what they want to call them, Curtis?
I have no idea.
Justice involved individuals is what they renamed them. And then here was the list of the things that we came up with to help the leftists rename things. So drug dealers became freelance pharmacists. Murderers became pro bono end-of-life coaches. Rapists were unplanned virtue interventionists, and illegal aliens were refugees of non-existent war. And it just goes on and on. Because if you're going to change the names of things, you might as well just get ridiculous.
Folks, you know what? We're grateful for all of the support you've given us over the years. We've had some great success with the Cranked Up brand, and here's to another 5 or 10 years, man. I'm really stoked about it, and I can't wait to tell you, all of the details. But we thought it'd be good because I'm not doing a radio show this week. I don't know about Brad.
I've got a list of things here written down, ready to go. All right, we're ready.
He's doing his Karl Rove impression right there with his whiteboard, right?
This person's an idiot. You were stupid here. You're a dumbass.
Folks, hey, thanks so much for checking out the Facebook Live, and you know what? Thanks. Just thank you for everything you've done for us over the years, and look for us. We're gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna be on Spotify and all of that stuff. Apple. God, I don't even know how many platforms they're throwing us on. It's like 40 or 50, I think. It's a lot. So you can catch us all that stuff, and you can always go, well, I guess crankeduplive.com and crankedupcountryradio.com. We're keeping the websites, and there you go.
The homeless will now be known as unintentional outdoor enthusiasts.
And you can drink on the air now. Look at him. We never could say that Brad was drinking bourbon all the time, but he's always drinking bourbon, and now you can watch it firsthand. I don't even know.
Carjackers are now self-employed, unlicensed parking attendants.
Oh, jeez, folks, we will see you soon, and you'll get the updates. And thanks so much. We'll see you later.
Aloha.